murder our young people in cold blood.
It's done.
Ex, my brother.
No. Don't think about it.
All you self-righteous assholes do is march and destroy your own communities. Killing me won't change a goddamn thing.
It's a lot different when it's a grown black man standing his ground.
What?
I said Malcolm alleged that some of Elijah's women were underage secretaries, and can you expound on that?
Yeah, well, I guess they were, because they were there. I seen them. I seen them myself. It's all true. It's all true.
Good evening, messenger. You convinced us that you were the last messenger. How many other bastard children do you have?
You're watching America This Morning, America's #1 early.
Time after time after time, we are watching murderers go free. They hide behind their badges, they hide behind their white privilege, and they use the excuse that they fear for their lives to murder our young people in cold blood.
It's done.
Ex, my brother.
No. Don't think about it.
All you self-righteous assholes do is march and destroy your own communities. Killing me won't change a goddamn thing.
It's a lot different when it's a grown black man standing his ground.
What?
I said Malcolm alleged that some of Elijah's women were underage secretaries, and can you expound on that?
Yeah, well, I guess they were, because they were there. I seen them. I seen them myself. It's all true. It's all true.
Good evening, messenger. You convinced us that you were the last messenger. How many other bastard children do you have?
You're watching America This Morning, America's #1 early.
Time after time after time, we are watching murderers go free. They hide behind their badges, they hide behind their white privilege, and they use the excuse that they fear for their lives to murder our young people in cold blood.
It's done.
Ex, my brother.
No. Don't think about it.
All you self-righteous assholes do is march and destroy your own communities. Killing me won't change a goddamn thing.
It's a lot different when it's a grown black man standing his ground.
What's up? What's up? What's up, man? Make sure y'all click that link, man, and watch it with your family this weekend, man. We got a long holiday season, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and some of you Monday. What's up, man? Silent. Y'all see the link? Click the link, baby. The one and only. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Bird, man. Thank you, man, for always coming through. Keno and Adolfo. You guys always appreciate it, man. And you see that? Yeah, you see that? Yeah. Lincoln got me falling in love with basketball again, man. But appreciate you guys coming through. And without further ado, the award-winning gentleman.
Fun fact. Did you know the soccer player Ronaldo was born on accident?
Wait, here. You want to give a stat?
Yeah, I did. I told you.
Okay, well, go ahead.
Did you know the soccer player Ronaldo was born on accident? His family was poor when they were pregnant with him, and they didn't have enough money. So the mom tried drinking a lot of alcohol, but he was born, and at the age of 7, he started playing soccer.
Age of 7. Thank you. Okay. Fact of the day. What's up, Taiwan Berry Hill? Without further ado, he hype. We get his hype. Y'all can't see him, but I can. Without further ado, the award-winning gentleman, Lincoln Curtis Gerald Hawthorne, ladies and gentlemen. Hawthorne, ladies and gentlemen. Okay.
Song that I made up. I don't know a name for it, but the song anyway.
Lincoln Curtis Gerald Hawthorne, ladies and gentlemen. Hawthorne, thank you for coming out tonight. We totally appreciate you. It's all love. And y'all, you know what, Lincoln? I didn't even turn the camera. You got to do the freestyle over for the people. I forgot to turn the camera. Can you believe that? Wait. Let's sit down. I'm gonna introduce you again. My bad, y'all. My bad. Coming to the stage, the gentleman, Lincoln Curtis Gerald Hawthorne, ladies and gentlemen. Hawthorne. That's my bad. The gentleman, Lincoln Curtis Gerald Hawthorne, ladies and gentlemen. All right, thank you, dude. 8:25 in the morning. Be ready. All right. I appreciate y'all. I forgot to turn y'all looking at me while he performing. I ain't even know. Put socks on, young man. All right. Appreciate y'all for y'all patience, man. And before we get into the topic, man, I just want to talk about something, man. How I'm feeling today. I don't know what's going on in the world of boxing. Y'all, please feel free to catch me up. And this comes off of me seeing something earlier today. Thank you, D. Patton. The glorification in a Christian culture of baby mothers. I'm going to say it again. And I'm not the Christian of the Christian men, but I made sure I didn't have kids out of wedlock. That was one thing that I can say that I purposely did, right? Part two. We're a Christian nation. Many people say they believe in God, Allah, God, whatever the case may be. And then we glorify women who have babies and don't get married. And then we call the women who are married boring. Oh, girl, you can go out. It's pre-Christmas Eve. Go out, man. Drop the kids off, man. I know your husband's working late. Drop the kids off. Send them to grandma's. Baby mamas got a problem. Got to send your kids to grandma problem. And I don't know where this came from, but I was just, I mean, I know where it came. I was watching something earlier, and I just couldn't believe. I just literally couldn't believe. Like, it is cool for a baby mama to convince a married woman that she should drop her kids off at grandma and go out. This is a Christian nation we live in. We about to celebrate Jesus' birthday. We about Jesus' birthday. I mean, you know what I mean. I'm not having a conversation about Jesus Christ and his birthday. I'm just making the point that this is the holiest day. If you're a Christian, this is the holiest day, right? The birth of your God. The birth of your God. And you trying to convince a married woman to drop her kids off at grandma. I don't know how old grandma is, but if you 35, grandma got to be 85, 75. What's up, Taiwan Berry? Huh? I mean, it's just, man, I don't get it, man. I don't get it. And I'm going to keep on beating this horn. I'm going to keep on beating it, keep on beating it, keep on beating it, because it's the right thing to do. You know what I mean? We got a baby mama epidemic in America. A baby mama epidemic in America. Men overvalue vaginas, man. Men fall in love with her integrity, her femininity. We fallen in love with ass and titties, and man, it's I just wanted to talk about that really, really quick, man. A baby mama is convincing a married woman to drop her kids off at grandma's house 2 days before Christmas. Let that sink in. And both of them are Christians. This is real life, man. And it's gonna happen tomorrow at some of y'all friends. You know what I mean? What are we doing here, man? This is Jesus' birthday. But the point I'm making, here's the point that I'm making. I'm not the holiest of thou, but we're celebrating it. We're celebrating We're celebrating this epidemic. And this baby mama epidemic is what? Creating what? Felons. Wow, what a shot. Felons. What else they're creating? Rapists. Low wages, ceilings, low self-esteem, men and women, you know, sexual predators, because YouTube is going to raise them, you know, anyways, man, I don't know. I never start to show off like this, but I just saw that conversation. And Dre is in the kitchen, right? Dre is in the kitchen, and I'm watching this, right? And I'm like, she's a piece of shit. Dre like, what? Why are you so mean? Oh God. I said she's a baby mom. That's what she's doing. Anyways, man, I appreciate y'all coming out, man. Means a lot that y'all coming out. Y'all could be on Amazon. I know a lot of y'all probably got a second window up on Amazon right now, getting your final gifts for your friends and family. And I know some of you don't believe in Christmas, but your family's off. Go spend time with the family that loves you and supports you. You don't need to reach out on the people who don't love you, man. Let them stay miserable. And but the family that you absolutely love, man, honor them and do what's best. You know what I'm saying? Because it only comes around once a year. And I don't know, man. I just saw something on the internet, man, and it bugged me, man. It bugged me, man. But anyways, man, y'all. Anyways, we got an awesome show tonight. I want us to watch a interview I did with Richard Schaefer after the Wilder Fury fight. Wilder Fury won. Let's see what the date is. Well, I got the date right here. 4 years ago. Oh no, June 7th, 2018. So that was Charlo. That was Charlo versus Austin Trout. That was the main event. Austin Trout versus, and I want you guys to understand, because these are all facts, okay? We're not going to deal with emotions, okay? We're just going to buckle up, and I want you guys to understand how emotionally driven this internet is. And we're just going to speak facts, and we're just going to tell the truth. And I knew this interview would come important. I just took a chance. I said, I'm going to talk about something different with Richard Schaefer. I'm glad I did, because here we go.
Explain, like, not the percentages or anything like that, but explain what goes on in creating a mega fight like Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, in terms of the money, in terms of the merchandising, the pay-per-view, site fees, and all that. Can you explain that?
Yeah, so there are obviously different revenue sources which go into promoting a pay-per-view fight, and the most important one is obviously the pay-per-view revenues. But at the same time, you never really know how big those numbers are going to be. Are you going to sell 200,000 homes? Are you going to sell 1 million homes? Are you going to sell 2 million homes? You don't know. As a promoter, you can only work hard, try to really expose and promote the fight as much as you can, and then you get the pay-per-view. Hopefully you get the pay-per-view results. And so the pay-per-view, like let's say the pay-per-view price is $100. As an example, or if it's $80 or whatever. But in my example, let's say $100. Half of that money goes to the people where you buy the pay-per-view from. If you have, let's say you have DirecTV, or you have Time Warner, or you have Cablevision, or whoever, DirecTV, whoever you have, those where you buy it from, they get half the money. In return, they help market the event. You see, like TV spots and stuff like that, they do that. Then the other half goes to the promotion. So let's say you do 1 million homes. times $50, which comes to us. The other 50 goes to those other people, those cable systems and so on. So we have 1 million times 50. That's $50 million. Boom, there it is. Then you have the ticket sales, the venue, the ticket sales. Let's say it's a big fight. You sell 20 million. I'm talking about Wilder and Joshua. I, by the way, think that the pay-per-view is bigger than 1 million homes, but I'm just giving you an example. Let's say you sell $20 million worth of tickets. So now you have 70 million, right? Then you sell all the TV rights worldwide. Usually you sell them to about 180 countries. So let's say, for argument's sake, you're going to get another 20 million from there. So now you're at 90 million, right? So now you sell the sponsorships, you know, the Coronas or the whatever it is. And let's say, you know, you do some merchandising, the hats and the shirts and all the programs and all that kind of stuff, which in the end is really not that much. But in a big fight like that, it could be like $5 million. So now you're like at 95 million. Then you're going to, something I started again, and unfortunately not too many are doing it anymore, but once I'm going to start doing pay-per-views again, I will definitely do that again, make the pay-per-view available in the movie theaters so that people can watch in the movie theater and not just at home. You know, let's say girlfriend wants to take out the boyfriend for a nice dinner and then go instead of watching a movie, go and watch a pay-per-view event. It's a different crowd than those who stay at home having a barbecue and buying the pay-per-view. So they really complement each other as two groups. So you have that. So let's say in the end of the day, you have $100 million in the pocket. So then you say, okay, you deduct the expenses. What are the expenses? The undercard. You do a press tour, and I love to do elaborate press tours.
We love to feed us too.
Yeah, so exactly. I've got to feed the media. You've got to do an elaborate press tour. I like to get in private jets, fly the fighters around the United States, do separate, different, you know, big events like in front of the Alamo. We did the press conference in LA, closing down Hollywood Boulevard. We did one in New York, where the Statue of Liberty is, shuttling with boats people out to the island where the Statue of Liberty is, and do a press conference underneath the Statue of Liberty. So I like to do like crazy shit, because what it does, it gets exposure on the news, and if you get exposure, you sell more pay-per-views, right? So you have to do all of that. So let's say, for argument's sake, between all the expenses, you have, you know, $10 million in expenses. So you left $90 million in my example. So now the $90 million are going to be split depending on the kind of split you agree with the fight. So if, let's say, the split is 50-50, then each one gets $45 million. If the split is 70-30, then, you know, one guy gets 30% of 90 million, that's 27 million, and the other one gets, whatever the difference is, 63 million. So then that's a big difference, and that's why sometimes promoters, camps get so caught up in how are we going to split? How are we going to split the pot? Because the difference, 1 or 2 points each way, you know, might potentially be millions of dollars. Now, you know, since you don't know what the pay-per-view numbers are, when we make a fight, when you make a pay-per-view fight, I go to fighter here and fighter there, and I negotiate a purse. I've got to guarantee them a purse. Now, I don't know how much the pay-per-view does, so it's a risk for the promoter as well. Because if the thing is a flop, if the pay-per-view is a flop, the promoter might lose money.
So you're on the hook with your investors to pay out that guarantee.
Yeah, I'm not with the investors. I am on the hook to pay the fighters I make a contract with. The purse, I guarantee them. I'm on the hook for that. So I have to pay the fighters. And usually the fighters participate in the upside, right? So I am on the hook. So it's a big risk. And I've done probably in the last 10 years more pay-per-views than anyone. And I really know I have very elaborate spreadsheets which I develop and projections and different financial models and so on, which like I can just plug in the numbers and I got it. Nobody knows the pay-per-view business as I do and what the different revenue sources are. What would be the impact if we only do this or only do that? And you see right on the bottom line. So I mean, I have it really developed. But and from all the pay-per-views, you know how many times I lost? That was like a fight I did. Thank God it was a small one. It was like lightweight lightning. It was in Mexico. No, it was exactly. It was It was in Texas. It was in. Yeah, I know it was down there somewhere. Yeah, I remember. It was not a very big pay-per-view, but other than that, in every other pay-per-view, I was always like spot on, or frankly, more conservative because I like to be conservative than rather aggressive. You rather have a positive surprise. You rather have a conversation with the fighter when everything is said and done and say, hey, by the way, in addition to the check you got on fight night, here is some more money. Look how well the pay-per-view did. And that's what I've always been able to deliver. And I think that's probably one of the reasons why I have the reputation among fighters that, you know, they get paid well.
And how does the site fee play? So for example, MGM wants Ebony Joshua. They pay upfront money.
Well, you know,
how does that work?
I believe in the product I try to sell. So I don't want a side fee because, you know, there is such thing even in boxing and everywhere else. There's no free lunch. So you guys pay MGM. I basically rather get a very good deal to get the venue. I don't get side money, and then I go and do what I need to do to sell tickets because then I can keep the promotion can keep 100% of the money. But if I'm going to ask you to put up a guarantee and risk your own money, guess what you're going to say? You want to have some return. You want to get your money back, and then you want to make some return. So I don't want you to make a return. I rather make all the money for the fighters because I believe in the fights I promote.
How much is it, like, to say ballpark? I understand your particular deal, but how much is it to get the MGM for that?
I can't tell you, but I bet you nobody has a deal like I do.
No, I'm saying just general.
You're probably looking at like $300,000, $400,000. You know, it's not just the rent, but it's the cleanup, it's the security, and so on. So you're looking at.
All right. I just wanted y'all to get a greater understanding of the expenses of a pay-per-view. All right. I'm going to attempt to do something that I've never done before. All right. Let's see if I can do this. Let's go a new document. Oh, shit. Let's see. How does this work? Does it go where? We're going to do this together tonight. Okay. That's what we're going to do. Because everybody's emotional and Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, Spence, Crawford. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm going to tell you what I do every December. And since I'm doing it, I just had a conversation with Dre and said we're not getting a raise until March 1st because our moratorium is up February 1st. So the city of Los Angeles is still under how you said it's still under what is that, COVID protocol? So I couldn't raise the rent on the tenants. So we literally couldn't get a raise this year. So next year I will get a raise. The Hawthorne family will get a raise as it pertains to that. March 1st. I just told her right there because we got to turn in all our expenses. We're doing our expenses now. We were doing them all day today, you know what I mean, before we hand them over to the accountant next week. But anyways, I really, really want to go through this with y'all. Let's see if I can share. I've never done this before, but we're going to see if we can share these pages and do what we need to do. And we're going to do it in real time so we understand the realities of this money thing and the best. And hopefully somebody from Earl Spence's team is watching and Crawford's team is watching because we're going to break it down. We're going to break it down. I don't want nobody else to hear. Let's see. Window. Okay. Maybe I can do it like this. Oh, shit. See, go to System Preferences, unlock this screen by selecting the lock on the left corner. Check Google. Man, I don't know, but let's get a. God, I can't do it. I want to do the whole spreadsheet live on the air so everyone has an idea of how we do it. But let's see if I can do it with this one. Let's see. Okay. I really want to do this live on air, and we can do this all together. All right. Let's see if this one works. No, it don't work. I can't do no external. All right, let's go to Google and let's go to Clear Sheet. All right. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do it with a clear piece of paper. That's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do. Hold on for a second. Let me give y'all some music. We're gonna do this in real time with a hard piece of paper. That's what we're gonna do. Let me get some paper.
This way before, travel through the open door, circumstances navigated the path, and life happened all so fast. No, it got no meaning. Sometimes you see.
All right, this should be fun. This is gonna be fun, y'all. We're gonna do this together in real time. Okay, I got a clear piece of paper. All right, we're gonna do. I ain't got no damn pen now. Oh, shucks. Hopefully this one works. This is gonna be fun. I got a pencil. So we're going to split it down the middle. And the only two horses in this race is we're going to do a PBC side and we're going to do a BLK Prime side. PBC and BLK Prime. All right. I wish I could have did this on air. So I got the BLK Prime and the PBC side. All right. Now we heard Richard Schaefer. He said, and I'll play it real quick for you. I know I have it time stamped. He says, when you do a pay-per-view, the provider, the cable company, gets half. Listen. All right, yeah. So basically what happens is if when you click that button on your TV, half of the money goes to the people putting the promoter and half of it goes to the cable provider. And he said 50%, okay? 50%. All right. So here's what we have. So and we're going to do round numbers again. I don't know how much the pay-per-view is going to cost, but for mathematical reasons, we're going to say the pay-per-view costs $100 on each of their sides. Do we understand what I'm saying? Half of it. And we're just going to do 1 million buys. Okay? Pay-per-view does 1 million buys. So that is $100 million. Right? $100 million. $100 million. $100 million. All right. We got $100 million on each side. Now, I finally got a hold of BLK Prime. Finally got a hold of BLK Prime today, and I want to ask them some questions, right? And so I asked them, I says, do the fighters pay for a promoter? He says no. Do the fighters have to pay you for the promotion? He says no. We give the fighters a promotional budget. Do we understand that? He says we promote it on our end, and we give the fighter a promotional budget. And I didn't ask what that was, but we're not going to deal with that now. I don't know what that number is. I don't know what that number would be for Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, but they give promotional budgets. Obviously, it would go against the bottom line. We ain't giving away money for free at all out of this thing, right? So now that we got $100 million, now let's say between merchandising, the gate, advertising, and everything else, we got $50 million, right? So we got $50 million, 50 million in gate, advertising. And y'all write this down with me too. Y'all get a pen and a paper. Write this down with me so we can all do the math correctly. At least I'll be able to pull up the calculator. In gate, advertising, merchandise. All right. So now we have $150 million for the fight. Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford generates $150 million. All right. We got that. We doing the math. We doing the whole fight right now. We ain't dealing with no small expenditures. We're going to put all of that. So now we got $150 million on each side. Do y'all see that? Got $150 million on each side. Now let's go through the expenses. Let's go through the expenses. Let's say the expenses is cable gets 50% of the pay-per-view. So cable gets, let's put a line here so we can see it. Now we're going to go expenses. Y'all write this down with me, okay? Expenses. And this is as close as we're going to get, all right? Now let's go through the expenses. The cable company. Cable takes 50% of the pay-per-view. So if they did 50 million, if they did 100 million pay-per-views, then what? Then they get 50 million, right? So the expenses for cable company, write this down. Cable, 50 million. I got company. I'm doing a show and I got company. They came over for the kids. Let's see. Let's see. Did I miss anything? They gonna get this information tonight. They gonna get this. I know they don't want it because they don't want the truth. I know they don't want it. Cable takes 50 million off the top, which is half of the 100 million. Okay. BLK Prime does not take. They take 20% of the total over gross. Okay. So BLK Prime takes 20% over gross. That's their expenses, okay? Now, let's go for the marketing budget, the advertising budget. Let's say for Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, 3-city tour, private jet, media, expensive place. Then you got the TV. It's probably going to be about how much would y'all say that would cost? We ain't gonna deal with the zone. We ain't gonna deal with the zone. All right. Let's say, but it would be this. I don't know what percentage the zone would take. But let's go with $10 million. $10 million for marketing and press tour. PR and press tour. Yeah, I'm about to bore y'all niggas to death right now. PR and press tour. That's $10 million. 10 mil, 10 mil. I was doing this all day today. So y'all about to get it. All right, are y'all keeping up? Are y'all keeping up? Expenses, cable company takes 50% according to Richard Schaefer. BLK Prime takes 20% over gross. Okay? Over expenditures. Takes 20% once they hit the black. Okay, they start taking 20%. Okay? Now, what other expenditures we got? What else? What else can y'all think of that doesn't fit into that criteria? All right, what's the split of the fighters? Earl Spence gets 60%. We're just gonna go with real numbers. Earl Spence gets 60%. Terrence Crawford gets 40%. Okay. Spence 60%. Bud 40%. All right. Spence 60%. Bud 40%. Okay. Now we got that. Now we're going to do the math. Okay. So let's say it's $150 million total, right? Let's do this on. Let's do this. Because I don't want y'all to. Okay. I know y'all bored. I know y'all bored. I know y'all bored. I know y'all bored. But we're going to get this. Because everybody's emotional. All right. Everybody's emotional. And I want, if Team Spence, and make sure y'all tweet this to them. If Team Spence and Team Crawford is in here, y'all better get this money. Because if y'all don't get this money, you're going to regret it. I'm going to tell you that right now. Okay. Now, we got $150 million, right? We're going to do the cable side. We're going to do the PBC side first. Can y'all see that? All right. We got $150 million. Y'all see it? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Total $100 million in pay-per-view buys. So we're going to take away 50% of the pay-per-view buys, minus 50%. So that's 50 million. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to subtract the expenditures, which is, I didn't add the gate because the gate, how much would the gate be? I forgot to add the gate. The gate would be about 15 million, $15 million gate. So let me backtrack. Plus gate, 15 million. So let's erase this. Let's get accurate. 165. 165 million. 3, 1, 2, 3. 165 million. Subtract 50 million from the cable company. 1, 2, 3. And you subtract 10 million for the promotion of it, right? Minus 10 million. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That equals 105 million. So PBC has $105 million that they're going to split. All right. At a 60-40 clip between Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford. Right? Are y'all with me? Are y'all with me? Y'all with me? Okay, y'all with me. Now let's go to now we're doing all this with no guarantee, okay? We're just going to do a 60-40 split, okay? That's what we're going to do, 60-40 split. All right. So let's go 165, 165, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You subtract the expenses would be the 10 million for the promotion. Oh shit. Subtract 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Anybody else count millions like that? So you got 100. So BLK Prime has 155 million. So you have, man, we only need to move forward, but it gets worse. It gets worse if you go with the basic cable. Okay, it gets worse. Now let me explain something to you guys. With BLK Prime, your promoter that you pay is in the $10 million. Do we understand what I'm saying? Do you guys fully understand what I'm saying? So I don't know what that number is, but if you have a promoter, so let's say under Bob Arum, Terrence Crawford pays 20%, because now we know with the Teofimo Lopez, his cut was 20% of the purse bid. Do you guys remember that? So Bud does not have to pay that 20%. That 20% goes to Terrence Crawford. And if Earl Spence doesn't have a promoter, he's his own promoter, he keeps that 20%. All he has to do is pay who? He has to pay the 10% or whatever that he gets that he has to pay Al Heyman for being his advisor. Yeah, he takes 20%. Just Google the article and you'll read it. And you can read it. It's there. Now, there's a $50 million difference gross. I'm going to just stop there because it makes no sense to break it down. Y'all can break it down if you guys want to, and then take the 20% or whatever the case may be. Okay. If matter of fact, I'll do it. So 105 million, you break that down into 60-40. So the gross is on the PBC side. Earl Spence gets 60 million. And what's 60% of 5 million? 3 million. Earl Spence side gets 63 million. And Terrence Crawford side gets 39 million. Okay, I'll do the math. Okay, so now I'll do it right here for you guys. At 60%. Let me do it right here for you guys. Where is that? Where'd the calculator go? All right, cool. All right, on the PBC side is $105 million. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? Oh, shit, my bad. 105, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's $105 million gross, right? 60%. 60%. Wait a minute. Times 60% times 0.60 equals what? Earl Spence side gets 63 million. Do you guys see that? Write this down. Write this down. All that's in the $10 million. All that's in the $10 million. Okay. All the expenditures, the small expenditures like the marketing, the commercials, the arena, all that's in the $10 million. And we made it blanket all the way across. All right. Earl Spence has a gross of $63 million for this fight. Okay. Now, if you subtract 63 million from 105, what do you get? Let's do it here. And that's what Terrence Crawford gets. All right. Here's what he gets. So let's subtract. Write this down, y'all, so we see it. I got 105 million. 05. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You subtract 63 million. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 42 million. So I was off. 60. I'm glad we did the math. Earl Spence on the PBC side, but you still got to pay out. You still got to. Earl Spence still has to pay out. Terrence Crawford still has to pay out. Okay. So Earl Spence, 63 million. This is at 1 million pay-per-view buys at a cost of $100. Terrence Crawford, 42 million. Now, keep in mind, here's where it gets interesting. Here's where it gets interesting. Now they got to pay out whatever Al Heyman charges them to put on the fight. Al Heyman can charge 10%, 20%. They say it's 33%. I don't know what that is. You got to talk to Earl Spence and his deal, and you got to talk to what not Al Heyman and what Terrence Crawford agreed to. But their gross is 63 million and 42 million for the first fight. Now we just gonna stick with the 63 million and the 42 million. All right. Write these numbers down. I have it written down right here. If you guys, you guys can't see me, but I want you guys to see. I have the 63 million on this side. If you guys can see, Earl Spence, 63 million. Y'all can't see my shorthand, but 63 million and 42 million for Crawford. Okay. Now we're going to go to the other side. All right. Here we go. Let's clear it. Write down the numbers. The only expenditure on BLK Prime is the $10 million because you're not going through regular cable. You're going through an app, so they can't take half. So that half stays in the pot. I'm going to repeat that. Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, if you're listening, that half stays in the pot. So we're taking away 155 million. Do we understand? All right. So now we got 155. Can y'all see this? We got 155 million. 101, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, the expenditures is over $10 million, right? Is $10 million. So that's what it costs to put the fight on, the $10 million, right? Are we clear? And we got the $15 million for the gate, the $10 million to put on the fight. Now let's take 20% off the top. Times 20% equals what? $31 million. Okay, 20% off the top is $31 million. So that means BLK Prime makes $21 million off of this fight. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, because they put up $10 million to put on the fight. All right. Now, if you subtract 31 million, make sure y'all follow me. If you subtract 31 million from 155 million, that's what Terrence Crawford and Earl Spence are splitting. Okay. Now let's go 155, 155, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Subtract 31 million. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. $124 million left in the pot for Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford. 124. BLK Prime makes $21 million. BLK Prime makes $21 million off of Earl Spence, Terrence Crawford at 1 million buys at $100. Okay, they 31 million. 31 million. So they're in the black. Now, Earl Spence gets a 60-40 split, right? So we times 0.60 out of 100. No, I made a mistake. 60% is what? Equals. Earl Spence gets 74 million. 74 million. $400,000. Do we understand? Are y'all writing this down? Because we dealing with real numbers. We ain't dealing with y'all emotions online, none of that shit. All right. Now, Earl Spence gross is $74.4 million on BLK Prime because you don't take out the 50% that the cable companies take out. Like I said, and let me use this disclosure. I am not pro anything. I'm just here to tell you guys the truth, and I'm gonna advocate for the truth. Okay, $74 million. So if you subtract 74 million from 124 million, I wonder, can I do it like this? Now I'm not even gonna do it. I'm just gonna clear it, and you got 124 million. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now you subtract 74.4. 74, 4 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh shit. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 equals what? Terrence Crawford, 49.6. All right. Now we have the realities of where this fight is at. Okay, we ain't got the emotions. It's Earl Spence's fault. It's Terrence Crawford's fault. Here are the totals. And these are about as real as you can be. It will only change based off of the pay-per-views. Do we understand? All right. Earl Spence on the PBC side, Team Spence will gross $63 million. Terrence Crawford will gross, write these numbers down because we did it together. On the PBC side, Earl Spence will gross $63 million. Terrence Crawford, $42 million. Write these numbers down so y'all can see the difference. It don't matter if they're worth $50 million. That means they could take out a loan for $50 million and put the fight on. So they good. All right. On the BLK Prime side, Earl Spence will make $74.4 million gross. Terrence Crawford, 49.6. The reason why there is a difference, because there is no cable. You don't have to split the pay-per-view profits. And they get the pay-per-view no matter if it fails or succeeds. They get 50%. Okay? Now, the difference, here's another big difference besides the cable. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's on the BLK Prime side. And the biggest, and it is because we heard Richard Schaefer, they take 50%. Now they can negotiate whatever they want, but the cable is still going to take a percentage. Do we understand? It could be 30%, it could be 40%, it could be 50%. That percentage will be the difference in the Earl Spence Terrence. That will make a huge difference in what they make. Okay. Now, here's the difference. Here's another big difference. I don't know these numbers. So I can't give them to you. Okay. And I'm not even going to pretend that I know. On the PBC side, Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford will have to pay Al Heyman. I'm going to repeat. On the PBC side, Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford will have to pay Al Heyman. And they will have to pay Showtime. We haven't paid Showtime yet, and we haven't paid Al Heyman. Do we understand? Even if they get 90%, that's still 10%, and you still got to pay Showtime. Showtime is separate from Time Warner, Dish, all that. You still got to pay Showtime. You got to pay the cable company, and you got to pay Al Heyman. Al Heyman doesn't work for free, no matter what he tells you. No one works for free. All right. It's either for future profit or right now profit. Okay. Now, if we go to the other side, we got 74.4 million and 49. BLK Prime put up $10 million. And this is no guarantee. I want y'all to know this is the Al Heyman deal. We're not doing guarantees. Okay. We're not doing guarantees. We're doing no one takes a guarantee on this fight. Earl Spence, 74.4 million, 49.6. Terrence Crawford doesn't have to pay his promoter. Terrence Crawford takes home $49.6 million. I repeat, Terrence Crawford takes home $49.6 million. Clean and clear. Now, Earl Spence gets 74.4 million minus what he has to pay Al Heyman for his advisor for letting him go to BLK Prime. Now, there you have it. We can talk. We can be emotional about it. You can yell and scream and say it's Terrence Crawford's fault. You can say it's Bob Arum's fault. You can say it's Earl Spence's fault. You can say it's Terrence Crawford's fault. You can say it's Blue Blood's fault. We just did the breakdown of the fight based off of what Richard Schaefer says. Richard Schaefer is Al Heyman's used to be second-hand man. The first one was Tom Brown. Second was Richard Schaefer. All right. You can go back and look at the cards that Richard Schaefer put on after he was suspended. He came back. Al Heyman threw him a bunch of fights. Okay. Especially the Mikey Garcia fights. Okay. And all the little Mikey Garcia, all the little Latino fights, because he was recognizable because of his relationship with Oscar De La Hoya. So he put him on. Okay. Now, I already know about the Ali Act. I already know about that. He still would have to pay, even if he used the Ali Act. So I'm opening up the phone lines, and we can just go wherever we want to go. I mean, not the phone lines. I'm opening up. Y'all can beam in. But those are the real numbers. Those about as close as we can be. If they sell 1 million buys, he wasn't a disgruntled employee 4 years ago. He had just promoted a fight. Leo Santa Cruz was on that card. Leo Santa Cruz, I believe, was a co-main event. He always is. He's always the co-main event. Okay. What's up, Zo?
What's going on with you, man?
Hey, how you feel?
Oh man, I'm good, man. No, I was I wanted to tap in yesterday because I heard the gentleman call in yesterday and was talking about how Al Heyman is kind of like, I guess, giving the money up at like how the music business runs.
Mm-hmm.
I actually had to go back and listen to it 2 or 3 times, just to make sure I had a sound foundation as to what I was hearing, and
right,
just running back with my knowledge of the music industry. But I'm trying to listen to you now, and you're saying that basically with Black Prime or whatever case, they have the $100 million. They basically, just to sum it up, I'm saying you basically saying that they cutting out the middleman.
Oh, so that's the whole plan. That's the whole plan, to cut the middleman out. Now they're going to be the new middleman. Now, I'm not going to but what they're doing is making your promoter obsolete. The same way California is making gas obsolete in 7 years or 2030, whatever it is. Same thing. The same way payphones are obsolete. It's 2022 and we're still using a 1965 model. We're using the same model Muhammad Ali used when Bob Arum signed him to his first fight. We're still, matter of fact, this is the Bob Arum model. Model. Yeah. MODEL.
Okay, so then I guess you would have to say that it would be on the fighters. 95% of the promotion now would have to be based. It would have to be on your hands to promote yourself, to get products and merchandise out, to get on these different ESPN and these different.
In addition to that, there's still structure. So with that $10 million, it's still putting on, because BLK Prime and Showtime, they still did I saw all the Instagram commercials. I see all the YouTube commercials. That's not going to change. It's the same budget. They're still going to do the interviews. We're still going to do the pressers. And yes, they are, as I'm just going to judge it on what I seen, not what I expected. Okay, BLK Prime did 3 or 4 minute, 2 minutes stuff with Terrence Crawford. They haven't did no long form. They didn't do no long form stuff with Terrence Crawford. So I would just base it off of that. I'm not going to speculate. So they would do those things that would go on YouTube, Instagram, all that stuff. and then they would also do the commercials, and within that $10 million, which would be the same thing. But I don't know about the shoulder programming. You know, I mean, maybe because maybe BLK Prime budget goes up to $15 million, because within that $50 million, it also pays for the commercials that goes on TV. You understand? So maybe BLK
You
Prime.
said that the fifth. You said within the budget of the 15 million, did the commercial?
No. Yeah, hear me out. BLK. I just said there's a $10 million budget for PR, press tour, and the logistics of the fight. $10 million, right? Maybe maybe BLK Primes is probably 15 million, because they don't have the TV infrastructure. Do you understand? So they got to create their own shoulder program, which won't be $5 million, but I like round numbers when I'm dealing with the broad audience. So they have 15 million, whereas PBC's is just 10 million, but they pay $50 million for the commercials that's going to be on regular TV.
Okay, so then that would be all more so dependent. That the thing that I'm not really understanding about like an app service is the promotional part, because okay, like for the for his last fight with Abyssinian. Now I'm not the biggest TV watcher, but I'm saying, like, how would a BLK Prime get on like an ESPN or a Stars, or like a major outlet?
Same way. It's no discrimination. Zero discrimination.
Okay.
No. You just got to have a strong PR team. So it's the same. But I think what you're leading to is, yes, BLK Prime marketing budget may be more than PBC's because of they don't have the TV. Remember, ESPN is on TV, so but that's still relationships, the PR. But it would cost so they would save $45 million instead of $50 million. You understand?
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that 50 million off top. That's 50 million off top. If you fight, if you have this fight on BLK Prime and 1 million people buy it, Earl Spence, Terrence Crawford is saving $50 million off top. That they're going to.
And you're saying you're saving the 50 million
off top
based on not having to pay Showtime. Not having to pay.
Not having to pay Showtime and not having to pay the cable companies.
Okay.
But you still got to pay. You still got to pay BLK Prime their 20% for putting on.
I got you.
They put up the $10 million, right? And they have the platform, and so now, so that's where we're at. Make sense now?
I got you. Because like that was the only thing about it, because I was looking at different reports, and then people were saying, well, the BLK is, I don't want to say a subsidiary, but I guess their financial backing is somehow related to Bob Arum somehow. And then, I was reading different reports, and then I was like, well, with Abyssinian, now with Adrian Broner still has somewhat of his clout. He still has somewhat of star power. He can sell a fight, get in there and talk. But it's like with somebody that's maybe like not a talker, or maybe somebody that has to more rely on the hype or the promotion. How would BLK Prime? But I understand what you're saying. You know what I mean? It's all in the same pond, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that $10 million.
Hopefully, Adrian Broner does his fucking job and wins, so we can get him. Because if he wins, there's a Regis Prograis fight happening, bro, because Ramirez, he dropped out of it. So that leaves
Yeah, and he's fighting the left hand.
Regis Prograis to fight. So
Yeah,
if he can make that happen, that'd be good. Yeah.
So Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford, if your teams are listening, there is maximum $50 million you're getting in return just by saying, I don't want to have this fight on cable TV. You can still be with Al. See, here's the catch. We're not understanding. You can still be with Al Heyman. Al Heyman just goes over to another network like he does all the time. When he started, NBC, ABC, ESPN, Fox, Showtime. He was on HBO before. So that's what I'm saying. Like people are just so emotional in their emotions that they're not seeing the big picture. Why wouldn't Al Heyman, because he's an advisor, do the best thing for his fighter?
And that's how you know he's a promoter.
Yeah, and so that's where it's at. So you can go straight to the app and order the fight. You can go straight to the app, and there's going to have to be some app training, and that's why these guys got to post 5 times a day. I don't know why these fight. If you're in a pay-per-view and you only posting once every other day, every time you post, you're probably making $10,000. So, like it's gonna have to be some app education because it's a new app. Same thing with DAZN, but they came in with money first. They didn't choose fights. They came in with money, just throwing money everywhere. But if they had some discipline, they probably would still be in America. But
and that's why BLK Prime is going to win. Because,
well, we'll see. I'm listening.
I'm gonna say this, because they've been around boxing for a long time, and they know what to do and what not to do. How much money to put into this fighter, how much money not to put into this fighter. So they're not just jumping in here just throwing money at everybody. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about it is, you gotta do a big splash on your first go round. So signing a Terrence Crawford, it gives it not stability, but what's the word I'm looking for? Credibility. You dig what I'm saying? Well, we had Terrence Crawford on, and Terrence Crawford got paid, and he got everything that he needed. You know what I'm saying? So it's only right for y'all to come over, right? So Adrian Bronner, like if he does his fucking job, Fredro, and he beats whoever the fuck this guy is, and he gets that Regis Prograis fight, the sky's the limit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm gonna be honest. If you think about it, bro, Andrew Ruiz kind of ruined PBC. Because if he beats Anthony Joshua,
you gotta back up Al Heyman, because if Al Heyman gives Deontay Wilder Charles Martin, then it's split. It's 50-50. And Wilder has the IBF and the WBC, which is more powerful than the WBA and the WBO. So now Deontay Wilder has more credibility. So you got to backtrack and say, but Charles Martin got paid $7 million for that fight. Hang in there, James and Doc. I got y'all coming up next. And but that's where we're at, man. And I think that and hopefully, hey, make sure y'all cut this up and put this on your Instagram, your Facebook, because Crawford and Spence need to see this, because I'm not pro BLK Prime. They ain't did nothing for me. But in order to make this fight and them get maximum dollars, shit, BLK Prime is the move now. You understand? Just like Al Heyman was the move in 2015. But I got you next, James. What's up, man? I got you next, Doc.
Yo, what's up? I was about to hang up. I was like, oh, this guy don't want me on the panel no more or what? But nah, it's all good.
What's up?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, very well.
Oh, yeah, that's crazy. I mean, BLK Prime is like they have the app, so they have they don't need Showtime. All they need is to pay for promotion in the arena, right?
Yeah. And app education. They got to educate the public on. Yeah. So that's within the $10 to $15 million.
So my question, do they usually spend $10 million on promotion on other fights?
They've only done one fight, and it definitely wasn't $10 million.
Now I'm saying in general.
No.
Oh, they don't.
No.
So how much money do they spend on an average promotion for a fight?
I don't know. They've only done one that I've paid attention to.
Now I'm saying like PBC.
Oh,
or
I
like
don't know. But the reason why I used a number because I don't want to make the conversation negotiable. So let's say PBC used 10 million. BLK Prime used 10.
Because it's like I don't really see them promoting anything. I learn about the fights through YouTube, Instagram, fight hype and stuff. Like I don't see commercials. I don't see like
you're right
posters and stuff. So I don't know. Do they have a buck? Like, do they spend money on promotion?
They haven't lately.
I mean, one of the partners has hundreds of thousands of views on YouTube, so it's kind of like that's where everybody goes to see boxing. So it's kind of like they just going to YouTube to do the promotion. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, go ahead. My bad.
No, but they got to promote this fight. You got to do a 2 or 3 city tour. You got to do New York, Texas, and LA. Spence is going to be on his private jet. Crawford's going to be on his private jet. They're going to do ESPN. They're going to do that for a day. Then they're going to come over here and do CBS and all that. And so, I mean, the reality is, I don't know what the numbers will be. Maybe one to be more, one to be less. I would assume that BLK Primes will be more because they'll be able to promote because they own CBS and they have the Super Bowl and stuff like that. And, they'll be able to go and promote during NFL. But you also can do that with BLK Prime, but I think it comes at a higher ticket. That's all.
I mean, the BLK Prime, the Terrence Crawford fight, that was promoted through YouTube and Instagram and Adrian Broner. Like there wasn't no commercials or not, so they probably saved so much money, just not even spending on promotion.
But I was trying not to make it negotiable. You understand? You understand? All things being equal. Now it's gonna be pluses and minuses in there, but it ain't gonna be no pluses and minuses that equals $50 million.
Do you think Terrence Crawford and Spence could do $1 million?
I don't care what the number is.
Oh, you don't care?
No, I just gave a round number so you can see it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's gonna do $1 million. I don't know what it's gonna be, but it's I think it's a ready-made fight. I think it's already sold out, and the promotion I think they already got 350 pay-per-view buys in the bag. They already got 350, especially if it's in the summertime. If they can do this fight in July, they win it. Oh, they win it. Oh, if they can do this fight the 3rd week in July after the All-Star game, the All-Star game is probably the 2nd week in July on a Tuesday. They can do it the 3rd week in July on that Saturday. I think it's a major win for them, but that's up to them. They can do what they want, but we got Doc coming in and then we got L coming in. Go ahead, Doc.
What's going on, guys? How you guys doing? Good?
Yeah.
Yeah, what up?
Beautiful.
Doc, what up?
Beautiful. What's up? Hey, that math was hurting me, Fred.
Elaborate.
You got it done, but it was hurting me, bro. Anyway, hey, I think a different perspective on that is the fighters need to get a bigger fan base. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is the fan base that they have now, and it's just not big enough. And I think there's an issue where a lot of people will not support a lot of mainstream America will not support two black fighters fighting like they would well, let me just say there are people that will not spend money to see that. And I just think that if the fighters and the promoters focused on arenas that already support black athletics, like the fan base for the NBA. Who's that background noise? That's James Williams trucking.
Okay, yeah. I'll mute.
Nah, I was opening something. My bad.
Oh,
I was opening something.
Go ahead, Doc.
So anyway, I think if they really focus on targeting those audiences and that fan base that's already in support of black athletics, for example, the NBA crowd, the NFL crowd, especially the NBA, and making themselves visible in those arenas, so people actually know who they are before they go to promote a big fight. That, because those people who support the NBA, go to NBA games, buy NBA merchandise, they're not going to be the type of folks that are going to be streaming fights due to economic or financial difficulties. A lot of people that stream these fights that support black fighters, they love the sport and probably would pay for the fight if they could, but the financial aspect, they may not be in the financial position to pay for the fight, but they still want to see it, so they stream it. Whereas the people who are already going to these NBA games, paying $200-$300 for a ticket, buying NBA merchandise, which you don't ever go buy NBA merchandise and leave under $100 spent on most cases. Those people don't really have the financial restrictions, and if you appeal to those audiences and make yourself known, promote yourself, and then you have a larger fan base that has more disposable income that can support your, can support your sport, support your fights. And I think it'd be as simple as Terrence Crawford, make it a point every month to go to one NBA game, fly out and go to one NBA game and take his kids with him, and then have him, and it'd be easy for them to announce if he gets a floor seat, hey, we have the, power fighter in the world, welterweight champion of the world, all his accolades, and then have him stand up at halftime and everyone sees him with his kids. Every time he does that, he probably gets another 10,000 people who are willing to go out and buy his fight. And you just do those things. You got to promote yourself. And then the other part of that is when they stick a mic in your mouth, in your face, your mouthpiece has got to be correct. You have to be able to speak to the people, utilize the English language to communicate. So my point is that the reason why boxing is suffering right now, especially when you look at great fights that include two black fighters that can't get the support and buy and sell the tickets that they should be able to sell just based on their talent and their skill base, is because they have not extended their fan base to people who have the residual income without the demographic issues, that the demographic issues where they don't support black sports.
Right.
They go into those arenas. The NBA, they go into the NFL. NBA really is probably the biggest thing. Even the NFL, and be present in those environments, and more people get to see them. They're bringing their families out, and they're on a regular basis. They know, people know who they are based on them showing up at those events.
Right.
That's my promotion right there. I think their money would triple. Actually quintuple, 5 times over if they would do that when they go and support and make these big fights.
Yeah, and that's part of the promotion. And I would say Earl Spence has been with Al Heyman 10 years. Terrence Crawford has been with Bob Arum, and half of that was on ESPN, right? Maybe 7 of those years. I would say that they've done the best they can in 10 years. So I would think, I don't think Al Heyman can do more for Earl Spence in terms of promotion. And I don't think Bob Arum, well, he's not with Bob Arum. I don't think Bob Arum can do more for Terrence Crawford. So I think they're on their own. And
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, I can
and
tell you, Bob Arum did not promote Terrence Crawford.
yeah,
I don't think he did.
yeah. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Mhm.
I'm just going to quote Bob Arum, and he said Terrence Crawford was stubborn. And I don't know the extent of that. I never saw Terrence Crawford fly out like Devin Haney did. Devin Haney actually flew out to New York for a day to do
Right.
all those Max Kellerman and
Yeah.
to help me out, Max Kellerman and Stephen A. Smith and all those
Well,
shows.
see, that's what I'm saying. That's
Mhm.
what I'm saying too, Fred. I'm saying that when my whole deal is don't just be a boxing icon. Don't be a name in boxing.
Right.
Be a name, be a name that transcends boxing.
Right.
The way you do that is you go to those other sports. Don't show up. I mean, even if you showed up at a hockey game, I mean, so be it.
Right.
But I'm saying a lot of people probably in those stands in the hockey game, they may not want to support black athletics like that. You just,
Right.
But the bottom line is what you can assume safely is that when you go to an NBA game, everyone in those stands, that's 17, 18,000 people up in those stands, you can assume a couple of things. One is they have the residual income.
They have expository income.
Or however you want to. That's another way of saying it. They have that income that's disposable that they can go, right? They can go and support your fight with no problem. And two, they don't have an issue supporting American sports.
I mean, the problem isn't the tickets. The problem is the pay-per-view, right? Because Earl Spence, they sell out. Terrence Crawford sells out. So isn't the problem the pay-per-view is not?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that people who
you have to increase the market. You have to expand the circumference of your reach.
Base.
Yeah, of your reach. So and if 50% is streaming and 50% are buying, then you just got to expand the number.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
Because usually the people who are streaming like that, they're not streaming because they want to steal fights, because that's what it is stealing, to be honest.
Sure.
Right. Somebody tells you, hey, if you want to see me fight, this is the price you have to pay. And then you go and stream it and don't pay anything. You just stole their product without paying for it.
Right.
So the point is that, but whatever the case is, we're not going to deal with that. I just think the vast majority of people who do that may do that because they have serious financial limitations that don't allow them to have that type of residual or disposable or expository income. Right. They don't have that. So you want to expand your base to people who do have that money. They do have the money. They can support your fights, and you don't have to worry about them streaming it or anything like that. And of course, you got a product that sells, man, because really what people want to see is talent, but they just don't know your talent exists because they haven't been exposed to it enough. They don't have been exposed to who you are.
Right.
And you get out there and you say, hey, we got the, welterweight champion of the world, pound for pound. At halftime, he stands up with his family and waves to the crowd. And think about it. You bring out Steph Curry. Steph Curry gives him a high five, or Kevin Durant gives him a high five, or give him some dap. He done made 10,000 fans right there, man.
Right, I agree.
But didn't
that 5 minutes? What's that? Go ahead,
Fred. You used to interview all the fighters,
right?
And
I
don't know if it's true, but Terrence Crawford didn't want to do interviews with.
Yeah, but that's 1917. We're talking about now. You're right.
But what I'm saying is, what he's saying is right, the NBA games and all that, but does Terrence Crawford want to do that? Like, people might have suggested things to him, and he just doesn't want to do that.
It's on him. It's a zero guarantee based off of the math we just did, and it's on him. It's on him. Like it's totally on him. So and I'm sure there'll be rubrics in the contract. There'll be obligations. You got to go to New York. You got to go to LA, and you got to do media row. You got to be on all these TV shows, and not on Zoom. You got to actually be there. And I'm sure that will be in the contracts. And Floyd Mayweather did it. Earl Spence did it while he was here. Terrence Crawford's gonna have to do it. And that's it. We got L coming in.
Yeah. So the point is you don't want people's.
Hey, let L get off, Doc.
Go ahead.
Only question I had, Fred, is about the when you said they'll automatically save 50 mil because you know, half of that money won't be going to pay-per-view. I mean to the cable company or whatever you had mentioned.
Uh-huh.
Now my thing is this, like BLK is similar to the Zone, right? Like their app, correct?
Yeah, it's an app.
Now, I don't think it would be that cut dry simple because like the Zone.
We're not comparing it to the Zone. We're comparing it to BLK.
But what I'm saying though, but what I'm saying is this. I'm not negating anything else you were saying, but just this particular point of it. Like the Zone, they don't have they're not TV, they're an app, correct? So they have to actually partner with somebody in order to get on TV and pay that network company, correct?
Yeah, there is a percentage, yeah. Uh-huh.
Now that I believe that network company with the Zone is Paramount, right?
No, that's Showtime.
All right, I thought they had some kind of deal with Paramount, but they paying somebody to get on TV, whether they do pay-per-view or whatever.
Yeah. And that's contingent upon
whatever they agree upon, the contract.
No, that's contingent upon how many fans go there. You understand what I'm saying?
Now, but what I'm saying is, won't BLK? They're gonna have to pay somebody to get that, you know, to get that pay-per-view on TV. So who knows what that number will be, but just because they're not paying, you know, I guess Al Heyman and Showtime or whatever, Stephen F. They got a flat rate. They paying them 50%. You know, they probably, I'm quite sure it's probably the best deal, and they just give them a flat rate. Like, look, you do this all the time for us, whatever the case, whatever they worked out. But what I'm saying is, BLK will have to pay somebody, so it's not like they just getting off the hook 50 million. Just
it's the gross number. So we're dealing with gross numbers. We're not dealing with on the individual. So but
what I'm saying is that 50 million was like you use that whole amount as if like they just pocketing that. You know what I mean?
It is pocketed. That's another expenditure. So what I'm saying is if BLK Prime has to pay a TV company like Time Warner, cable company, excuse me, then that's per, right? So for example,
but they will have to though, correct? Because how the hell they going? Who they going?
Let me explain. So if they get 80% of the people, that's why you got to have app education as well, right? Whatever you want to call it, you got to convince the people to go to the app, right? So if they're paying, if 20% goes to the cable company, right? If 20%, whatever the percentage is, you can say 50% for this example, whatever example you want. Then that would be what they negotiate on that per usage. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't know if it's a flat rate. I don't know if it's a percentage. I don't know that.
But what I'm saying is they gotta pay somebody something, because if that was the case, you would have all these different guys with money just saying, fuck it, let's create an app, put it on pay-per-view, and we could just, you know, cut out the cable company. You know what I'm saying? But it don't work like that though. You know what I mean?
It does work like that. That's why you got to educate the people. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's where the education come from and the advertising come in at. Have
you ever thought like this though? Like there's one individual that's holding this damn fight up, man. You know, and that's Al Heyman. But have you ever thought to think this motherfucker got more power that motherfuckers probably even know is possible? You get what I'm saying? Like he a major figure in the boxing world though. Like he might know something that the man just not giving off. I'm not gonna say he don't. I believe he deserves a great deal of the blame for a lot of things, just like all the rest of them. But at this point, for that fight not to be able to get made, this is kind of like it's way overdue. It's overbaked, you know. Like just like the podcast, like we way past that moment for this fight. You get what I'm saying? So that I don't know. I'm just starting to think that Al Heyman might be a lot more powerful and pull a lot. We don't really know much about him. You get what I'm saying?
Let me get this. Maybe they have the answer. Yeah.
Didn't you say Al gets paid twice?
Well, he's gonna get paid twice because he's representing Terrence Crawford now, and he's representing Errol Spence. You know what I mean? So, for example, the app education is important because that's why BLK Prime is able to charge $39 for a fight, right? So when you go to the app, it's $39, right? If you don't go to the app, then they pay a point or whatever. They not based off of their prerequisites. I'm assuming that they probably get $5.
No, it was last
$10.
time I looked, it was $3.99 for the app.
No, but that's separate. No, that's separate.
Oh, we're talking about
you can buy the fight a la carte. So you can pay the $39 because I paid the $39, and you didn't have to get the $3.99 monthly rate. So let's say it's $10 million. So Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford gets $40 million instead of, I don't know what that number is going to be, but it's going to be substantial. We got someone else coming in. Go ahead. We got hey, what's up, Anthony?
What's going on? So
all you.
So what about Stephen Espinoza, Little Stevie as you call him?
Mm-hmm.
He said that a lot of the fighters are getting 90% of the pay-per-view. Only 10% is going back to the cable companies. What about those guys?
Well,
I think Errol Spence would definitely be one of those guys who's getting that type of contract.
Yeah, and I would say that that's a great number, and that's still 10% that you got to pay. How you say it, the cable companies, and they still got to pay Showtime, and they still got to pay Al Heyman. So I think from a Terrence Crawford perspective, just based off of the numbers, it's not economically sufficient for him to do this fight on Showtime because he's saving money off of the top as it pertains to, because Al Heyman has to represent him, and he doesn't need representation.
If he signed with Al Heyman gonna get his cut either way. But on top of that, you comparing a startup, a company that's just starting up in boxing, to Showtime, who's been in boxing for decades now, and who has put on
but you're changing
the biggest.
You're changing the conversation. I'm not talking about history and legacy or anything like that. I'm talking about the actual numbers of the fight.
No, you're not, because you got a difference in recognition between the two companies. So you can't compare a BLK Prime to a Showtime and their
I'm not
production,
comparing nothing. I'm not
their subscribers or anything.
All right, I got you. Who hasn't? Oh, Tavian. Oh, shit, you just left. Kyle, you got anything?
I'm just listening in. All right,
cool. All right, cool. If you guys want to come in, that's fine. But you also got to take into account that there's going to be offsets too. Like, I didn't factor in how much Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence has to pay Al Heyman and Stephen Espinoza. So that may be a wash between BLK Prime paying for the people that don't go through the app, and what's his name, Errol Spence.
So where do you think they should go?
I think they should go to the whole number. I think BLK Prime has the largest number because of the cable. You got to pay the cable.
But that's the only number I dealt with when I called in. I'm saying you're saying 50% goes back to the cable company. I'm saying that fighters have different contracts with the cable company. Steven Espinoza said it himself. A lot of these fighters get 90%. So in that case, your 50
you
million.
agree with me?
You
agree?
No. Listen, in that case, the 50 million that you took, you said 100 million in pay-per-view. You took 50% of that and gave it to the cable company. I'm saying in this particular situation, I believe Earl Spence would be one of those premier guys who's getting the upward of 90% of the pay-per-view. So you can't take 50 million and put over there. All you could take and put over there is 10 million.
Okay. I got you. James, you got anything?
I mean, do they need a cable network? Do they have to?
No. So if you're getting, you don't need the cable network. No, you absolutely don't need the cable because you can advertise on the same platforms that the cable company.
Oh, are we talking? But are you talking about advertising on a cable network? So
the fight itself, the fight.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Do you need that? Why can't you just do it on the app and that's it?
Yeah, you could do it on the app for sure. But there's avenues to get to the app. You understand? Like I would say, like there's probably a 55 and over crowd that just wants to see it on TV and click the button, like Deontay Wilder say, click the button. So what they're going to do is they're going to pay whatever points that they got to pay and give the rest to how you say it, give the rest to BLK Prime. And I don't know what that number is, but I can guarantee you, and I'm just going to play the realities of this thing because he did all of Floyd Mayweather's pay-per-views up until his 6-fight deal. Up until his 6-fight deal with Showtime, and we're just going to.
Do you think Al will do a deal with BLK Prime?
I'll play this. Obviously not, right? As of right now, no. But let's listen to Richard Schaefer.
Let me throw this out, Greg, and then I'm gonna get off real quick. But when AB did his interview on the Porter podcast, he said that they'll get 40% of the pay-per-view and they'll get it within 72 hours. Basically, he said, because I think he said Monday, so from Saturday to Monday. But if that's the case, that means that they have to know what the numbers are. So they should know what those numbers are over there already. You know what I'm saying? But I'm out, man.
Appreciate it. All right, I'm gonna play Richard Schaefer for you guys so you guys can have an understanding. And I'm gonna tell you guys this. Well, I'll let Richard Schaefer explain it. Let me back it up a little bit. Go ahead.
And then you get the pay-per-view. Hopefully, you get the pay-per-view results. And so the pay-per-view, like let's say the pay-per-view price is $100. As an example, or if it's $80 or whatever. But in my example, let's say $100. Half of that money goes to the people where you buy the pay-per-view from. If you have, let's say you have DirecTV or you have Time Warner or you have Cablevision or whoever, DirecTV, whoever you have, Dish.
All right, and I'm just gonna clean up what he said, and then I'll let L go. And no, we go Doc, and then we'll go L. I'm just gonna clean up what he says. When Steven Espinoza says 90%, he's talking about the 90% after the expenditures. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, because at the end of the day, they still got to pay the cable providers. And this interview was done 4 years ago, June 7th, 2018. So
he gets 90% of the 50%. That's what you're saying?
Yeah. But that goes to the fighters though. But the fighters still got to pay their percentages to their promotional company and to their advisor and whoever else, their lawyer, whoever else that is. So they still got to pay. But if you go to directly to BLK Prime, you don't have to pay a promoter. The promoter is built into their 20%.
Yeah.
You understand?
Because BLK Prime is the promoter, right?
BLK Prime, no, BLK Prime is the network. Their promoters are basically employees. Do you understand? Like they're because legally they gotta have a promoter for legal. It's like me when it's like I don't want to, but yeah, that's basically what it is. So that's the reality of it. Ain't no cable company taking 10%, dog. But go ahead, Doc.
I mean, I'm just listening now. I'm just listening now. My point was just expand your customer base.
Okay.
By being visible.
Yeah. It would be like Showtime and then Mayweather Promotions, but you cut out Mayweather Promotions because BLK Prime has its own promoter built in. They have employees that is a promotional company.
Yeah, it's gonna be Christy Martin. Christy Martin is putting on the next card, and that she's getting a flat rate from BLK Prime to be the logistics holder.
So what's her company called?
I guess Christy. I don't know what it's called, but it is what it is. Yeah. Go ahead, L. You frozen, L?
Hey, the only other thing that I would add, Fred, is
you
that
frozen?
Yeah, it looks like he's frozen.
Yeah.
When people say, hey, well, it'll be difficult to do something like that, it really wouldn't, because all you have to do is find NBA players that are boxing fans, and there's a lot of them. Right? There's a lot of NBA players that are boxing fans. There are a lot of NFL players that are boxing fans. Of course, I think in the NBA they're going to have a lot more pull, and and they're going to be more visible to the crowd because they don't wear a helmet or anything like that. So, you get. I think I've seen Steph at a couple of boxing matches before. Definitely, the guy that knocked out Jordan Poole. What's his name? Draymond.
Mm-hmm.
Draymond's a boxing fan, obviously, probably a little bit too much, but there's a lot of boxing fans in the NBA, so it's just a matter of being visible, and then and having that visibility to those particular audiences, and don't just go to one particular franchise's games. Go to, one month fly to Chicago and go to a game there. 1 month fly to LA. 1 month go to Milwaukee. 1 month go to New York, the Apple, Madison Square Garden, and and just being there in those different, once a month you're going to one NBA game and you have floor seats and you have that visibility. How much money would be generated from that, just that alone?
Yeah, and I think they'll do that. I think that the press tour will be built around throwing the first pitch out at the Dodger game, the Yankee.
Yeah, I'm
game.
not talking about the press tour. I'm talking about this is how you function, this is how you move.
That's how you move in general. Yeah.
In your life, right. You know what I mean? While you're in the sport, you move that way.
Right.
When you have the press tour, everyone already knows who you are. Not everyone, but then you've got a much larger fan base. People who are across sports lines that understand that you are the welterweight champion of the world. I think it's different for the heavyweights, because the heavyweight champion of the world he gets to meet the Pope. That's more of a political position than any other champions in boxing. Yeah. But my point is that get out there.
Yeah, we got it. We got it, Doc. We got it. You done said it 48 times, man.
All right. Well, hopefully they got it, because I think that's the key.
Yeah, we got it. but to Broner's point, when you go straight through the app, the numbers come in immediately. So those are the numbers that Adrian Broner's talking about. That's why there has to be app education.
I mean, the BLK Prime, it goes straight to them, so they know the numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they know it goes straight to them. So they probably know that night by like 1 a.m. what the number. They probably have it, in real time what the numbers are.
Oh, it is in real time, because I can go on the back end of my website and look at it in real time. It may update
so they
every
don't have
30
to wait
minutes
for pay-per-view and this and that to send them this. They probably know what it is right there, and they just direct deposit the money or whatever they do.
Right.
Yeah, and then one of the things that makes the network's so powerful, and like Showtime, ESPN, whatever, is because what they can pitch to the fighters is, hey, we're going to allow you to have exposure to our fan base or to our customer base.
Right.
But if you have the fighters doing what I recommended, or versions of that, obviously it's more than one way to skin a cat, but versions of that same formula or approach, if you have them doing that, then they can say to the networks, I'm bringing you my fan base. See, I already have the fan base, so I'm going to bring my fan base to Showtime by you putting me on
that's
there.
what Jake Paul did.
Yeah, that's what, so it's the marketing power at that point is turned upside down, where Showtime's not saying, oh, we're going to allow you to fight on Showtime, therefore expose you to our customer base. It's like, no, I'm going to bring you my fan base. Because by taking a fight and bringing my fight to Showtime.
Right.
So it's a completely different marketing strategy, pretty different bargaining position too. So, I think it's real simple, man. I think at the point, this is at some point, you're thinking past the tip of your nose and realizing that there's already a fan base out there for those guys. They just haven't exposed themselves to it.
Yeah. And based off of, I'm glad that's a great point. Showtime has lost over 750,000 subscribers through 3/4 of this year. So their pulling base is not as strong as it used to be. And that's from the Wall Street Journal and whoever else, Yahoo Finances, wherever else you want to go. So,
but that's not really that's not just from boxing, right? That's
no. But what I'm saying is when you advertise on Showtime and you're minus 1 million subscribers, you get what I'm saying. That's still
yeah.
a hell of a number.
That even gives you a better bargaining position. That gives you a better bargaining position with Showtime. And here's the other thing: you got to realize that when you go into those arenas like the NBA, the NFL,
right, and
those are all family environments. Those people
right.
bring their kids out to the games. Those are family environments, those are family atmospheres. Right. So you got a guy that's a champion that shows up to the fight with his kids, with his wife. Come on, man. That's golden standard type publicity. That's golden standard type harnessing of a fan base. When you show up with your family and everyone's having a great time, you and the kids stand up, you smile, the wife, all that. And then because all them other people there, 90% of those other people there are family.
How many times you gonna say it, man?
Well, I mean, hey, sometimes, man, I know I repeat myself. I repeat myself a lot. I know.
Hell yeah. Well, tonight you are. Well, tonight you.
But do you think that Showtime might be hating on the BLK Prime and the other apps because now they're losing their market share to all the apps now?
It's competition. Of course you will.
So and I want to do business with them, right?
Well, I mean, at some point you got to accept where you are in the market space, and let's keep it real. They average 130,000 viewers for the young man that fought this weekend. So what I'm saying is that they are not who they once were. You understand? A flop on ESPN is Teofimo Lopez, just under 1 million, 950, 975. So you get ESPN at 975, you get Frank Martin at 130,000. That's a flop.
But is that because ESPN has more people subscribed?
Well, and it's on. No, more importantly is that it's on basic cable.
Oh, it's on basic cable.
Yeah. Showtime is a premium network.
Because there's like 10 different ESPN channels. So
yeah, but everybody know the primary ESPN. So we're educated enough to know that it's like when you I'll give you guys an example. Here's what education is. If I say there's a fight tonight. You're gonna go. When I was a kid, you're gonna go to HBO or Showtime, right?
Yeah.
That's education. That's educating the open market. That's what BLK Prime has to do. The open market doesn't know that yet. So that's why it's important that these fighters post 5 times a day. And it's a new beginning. The same way I didn't know when PBC was on NBC. I didn't know to go to NBC for a fight. You know, it's like when you saw like Jackson State, you go to channel 2, you go to channel 7, then you go to CBS, you go to ABC, you go to Fox. Oh, they're not there. Where they playing at? Then you go to ESPN, then you go to Fox, then you say, oh shit, ESPN2. Ah, they on ESPN2. You get what I'm saying? That's the education that BLK Prime has to put into the market space. Because right now, if they were fighting and there was no advertising, then people would go to Showtime. Where the fuck to fight at? Then they would go to ESPN. Where the fuck to fight? You know, so that's why they got to educate the people in terms of go to BLK Prime, download the app. And how you get people to download the app is you put the shoulder programming on there. So you put the shoulder programming on BLK Prime and you get the fight. So but over a 90-day period, it's gonna work. You know what I mean? Because it's gonna work, you know. And they're gonna give away promos, you know what I mean? You get the month free, you know, they're gonna have new programs.
Yeah, they gotta let people know what BLK Prime is.
Yeah, so it is what it is, man. And when Tank Davis numbers come out, that's going to tell us where we are in the market as well. You know,
now Tank Davis is on Showtime still.
Yeah, it's on Showtime pay-per-view, and that's going to tell you where the market's at.
And that's GTD Promotions. That's not Mayweather, right?
Correct. So that's going to tell us a lot about the market and Jamel Charlo, because he's in a really good fight. He's in a very.
Do you think Tank should go to BLK?
I think he has another option too, the Zone. I think he has 2 options. So I think he needs to. I think his team needs to be mature enough to put Tank Davis in the open market after he knocks this guy out, and see where he stands against an Al Heyman deal versus BLK Prime and the Zone.
Yeah.
So that's where I think we ultimately should be honest with you, you know. And that's the facts.
Yeah, I think the apps are the future.
The apps are now. The apps are now
and the future. I mean,
yeah. I use my phone. Everything I don't even go to websites anymore. I go to apps.
Yeah, you don't go to website.
YouTube app, Instagram app.
You got the Zone?
Well, I have the Zone because I bought the Canelo. But yes, to answer your question, yes, I have the Zone. Yes.
Yeah, so that's I think that's where the future's going.
No, it's now.
Because Showtime is kind of like Showtime. They have boxing, and then they have the movies or the TV shows.
Right.
So you don't need them anymore, right? Because you got the apps.
Right.
As far as like their boxing is like a small percentage of what they put on the channel.
Right. YouTube TV, all that stuff. So by the end of next year, Showtime will have revamped itself.
And the other thing I noticed at the BLK Prime event, they didn't spend that much money, because you know how they have, I don't know what it's called, you probably know what it's called, but you know when they have the weigh-in or they have a press conference with PBC or Showtime, they'll have they'll have the main stage, and then they'll have another stage with 3 personalities like Paulie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they got to do that. You're right. But what they did during the fight, though, during the fight, they had one guy that brought up Shakur Stevenson, and then they brought up Adrian Broner.
They had that at BLK?
Yeah. No, you're right. I'm just telling you what they did during the fight, though. like they had the Brian Custer guy.
Because remember Tank versus Rolly, it was like a big event. Like they always have a big event. So you think that BLK Prime is cutting money down that they don't need to spend?
I'm sure. But what they didn't do, but they had the personalities because they had Paulie and they had Antonio Tarver. So maybe they need to expand their roles to the press conference as well. But they're already on the budget, so they're already in the budget. So I should say so. That's where we're at. So I think
it seems like BLK Prime is just they looking at how boxing is,
right?
And you know how when you do a press conference, you have to have the executive, and then this person talks, and then this person. They just cut it down. They cut out all these people that.
Right. And BLK Prime doesn't have a spokesperson. And I think that was one of PBC's shortcomings was that they didn't have a Bob Arum. They didn't have an Eddie Hearn. Like, where do we go to get the dates for the fights for PBC? We don't.
What about what about Steven?
Nah, he's not the guy. He's Showtime. That man he has a lot on his plate. I'm talking about in boxing. Steven's not a boxing guy. He's an executive. So you need a boxing guy. And I think if BLK Prime doesn't get a spokesperson, they're going to run into the similar problems as PBC. They need a Eddie Hearn. They need a Bob Arum. If they don't get it, then it's just going to be so much speculatory information that comes out. And it's true. It's like, for example, when they dropped that tweet, when someone made up a tweet and said, we're getting our monies together to do what we need to do so we can pay y'all. Y'all just hold tight. Then they would have had a spokesperson that came out and did an interview immediately on Blue Blood. You know what I mean? No, or did a Instagram live or something like if that would have happened to DAZN, Eddie Hearn would have tweeted immediately.
Did Regis? He got paid right by now?
Yeah, he got paid by.
Yeah,
he got paid.
I didn't hear nothing else about it. So
yeah, so and really all you need if you really wanted to invest, if they're not taking guarantees, shit, all you need is about $10 million to invest in this damn Earl Spence Terrence Crawford fight. That's all you need because the money's gonna come.
Yeah,
you know, with the pay-per-views, you know. So I don't know how it's gonna do, but you know, keep it real.
You think it could do $1 million though?
I think it's a job. I think it's
like if they spent the money, to promote it.
Oh yeah, if they spent the money,
did everything, you know, they flew them all around, they had them on the TV and all that. You think
July.
They could build a buzz?
If they did this fight in July, it would do 1 million buys. July, August, it'll do 1 million buys. Close to it. No competition. NFL, NBA is on break.
Yeah.
They can go to the fight, you know. It's summer. You can have it outside in a football stadium, Allegiant Stadium.
What about Las Vegas Stadium?
That's what I said. Allegiant. Is it called Allegiant Stadium?
Oh,
yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah, so I think that's where it is. So I think if BLK Prime is listening, they really need a spokesperson because it's too many loose ends when when you got to be firm and you got to be consistent in the market space. If you don't have no one speaking for you, guess who's gonna speak for you? Boxing Ego. Guess who's gonna speak for you? Everyone who's against.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And then to their subscriber base, they're gonna believe them. Now you got to re-educate that whole subscriber base.
So is Eddie Hearn? Is he a promoter or was his?
He's
job?
a promoter.
Oh,
he's also a spokesperson for DAZN. He's a promoter of Matchroom and a spokesperson for DAZN Boxing.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. So, and Eddie Hearn is the best. He's the best right now, and there's no close second neither. So
what about Leonard? It's like Leonard,
he's not a great talker.
Huh?
Leonard's not a great talker.
He's not a great talker.
No, he's not a great talker. He he never built. See, the problem with Leonard is he never ever built life outside of Floyd. You know what I mean? He never ever built anything, and that really, really hurt him in terms of how people feel about it. They may not say it publicly, but they think he's basically Floyd Mayweather's best friend / Mr. Everything for him. They don't even know that he promotes other fighters.
Right.
So that's where. Any last words?
Last words. Why? What are we doing?
No, we're getting out of here. That's what we're doing.
Oh, we're getting out of here?
Yeah.
Thank you for having me, like always. And, if you don't believe in any God, believe in yourself.
Right.
And just try to move forward. And don't give up, and it'll be okay in the future.
Appreciate it. Thank you, dog. And go ahead, Doc.
Happy holidays.
That's it.
I'll say it again.
That's it.
Happy holidays twice. I can stay consistent tonight.
All right. Thank you, dog.
All right. Good night.
All right, peace. Oh man. Hey, by the way, if you do if you salute, it's the tip of the brow. All right, James, it's the tip of the brow. It's not the middle of the brow, it's the tip of the brow, so but hopefully I explained a lot to y'all, man. These are the only number that may be different is how much you pay the cable, but it's not going to be 10%. It's going to. I remember Bob Arum came on the show and said he pays 30%. I got to go back and find that clip, but I didn't feel like doing it today. He said he pays 30% to the cable. All right. And that was Wilder Fury 3. He paid 30%. So regardless of it, that 30% goes back to the fighters. If you go with BLK Prime and Bob Arum's 20. So it's a 30% and the 20% of what you make, according to Bob Arum, is what you get. I don't know what Al Heyman charges. I don't know what his percentage is, and that's pretty much where we're at with this, man. Y'all can do the math yourself and break it down and chop it up, step on it, add more water, add more baking soda, whatever you want to do. Y'all can do it, but these are basically the numbers, man. I thank you guys, and y'all have happy holidays to everybody, man. Thank you for another great year. We're closing the year out. And don't forget to go to my community page. It's close. We got one more week. Carissa Shield versus Devin Haney and Bivol. But it looks like it's going to be nip and tuck between Carissa Shields and Devin Haney. Devin Haney has 38%. Carissa Shields has 37% for Fighter of the Year. So go to my community page and vote. Just scroll down, you'll see it, and it should be pretty fun. So we're locked in. Damn, that shit is so tight. So yeah, man. And if you have different math, let me know, and we're good. So but if you have different numbers, you go right ahead. So that's where we're at with that. And y'all have fun with your family, man. Enjoy your family. And that's where we're at. And to answer your question, BLK Prime, it would be an $80 pay-per-view, just like it wouldn't be a $39.99 pay-per-view. It would be an $80 pay-per-view. So carry on, brother. Hey, I'm telling you the truth. Hey, it's all in what you do. Hey, things you gotta do. Hey, 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 hey. Yeah, much expected, much is given. And the $80, and so you guys know, the $80 in real terms, the fighter's only getting $10 to $15 of that $80. So you guys know. I just want y'all to know that, if that much. I'm talking about both fighters, because the cable company takes half, Steven takes his cut, Al Heyman takes his cut, and then it trickles down to the fighters. So when Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford say 60-40, 50-50, you know, there it is, man. But hopefully, I wrote this song with a few other people, man, and it's not out yet, but we'll get it out eventually. I just didn't feel like getting my channel struck down every time I played it, you know. But I appreciate you guys, man. Happy holidays, man. Love your family, man. And yeah, man, I appreciate y'all. I'm not sure if it's gonna be a show Sunday. If it is, it's gonna be late. All right, but I'll let you guys know on Christmas Day, and obviously we'll be back Monday. Appreciate y'all.